For time and the world do not stand still. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. I said, are certain to miss the future.
Oh no, I missed that.
Prime Minister Castro, this missile crisis was the last straw. We almost blew ourselves up. Now, we invited you here today...
In good faith.
In good faith. To sort this thing out.
And why is he here? He lost.
As I always say, forgive your enemies, but remember their names. Now, gentlemen, as I like to think, in the long history of the world, that there are only a few generations.
Sounds like someone breaking in!
It's just a storm, Dick. Sit down.
Oh my God!
It appears the Pentagon has been breached.
Zombies. Gentlemen, at times like these, our capacity to retaliate must be, and has to be massive, to deter all forms of aggression. Gentlemen, lock and load.
Viva la revolución!
Any last words, Mr. President?
Yes, Jack. Any superlative words of inspiration for our humble troops?
Do not pray for easy lives, my friends. Pray to be stronger men.
Central Intelligence Agency, dun, dun, dun. Also known as the CIA, is one of America's most important assets to its powerful military force. The official webpage even says they are the nation's first line of defense. However, if you ask people what they know of the CIA, they could at most just give you its abbreviation. And if you don't believe me, check out these interviews I conducted. What's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'? We are here with...
Valerie.
All right, Valerie, what do you know about the CIA? Or what is the CIA?
It's like, isn't it like a better version of the FBI or something?
Do you know, but like, do you know what they done, or it's just CIA, just CIA?
CIA.
That's it?
Like Men in Black.
Men in Black type. Men in Black. Okay. Bet. All right, what's going on, guys? We are here with
Avery Brand.
Avery Brand. All right, Avery. What is the CIA?
A government agency that supplied drugs for Vietnam.
And is that all you know?
Oh, well, is the CIA is the one that can go nationally, like they can go to other countries.
They can go on their official website. They can go anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. Yes. Okay.
But did you learn about the CIA in school?
No, of course not. No.
You're here first. I'm here with
Bella.
Bella. Okay, Bella. What is the CIA?
Central Intelligence Agency.
And do you know anything about the CIA?
Well, I've watched a lot of movies about CIA, and basically they investigate.
Uh-huh.
I don't know the difference between FBI and CIA, but I know that, fuck man, I know.
All right, as you can see, most people don't know what the hell the CIA is and what they do. They often paint this picture in their head of a super low-key secret undercover agent or some shit. Valerie even said she thought of Men in Black. Individuals also tend to associate the CIA with the FBI. To put in simple terms, the CIA deals primarily with foreign intelligence and is more worried about collecting intelligence so they may fight off any foreign enemies, while the FBI deals primarily more on domestic issues and has authorization to arrest individuals that are threats to the nation. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, Mario, why the hell are you telling us about the CIA? Well, why didn't school teach you more about the self-proclaimed first line of defense? Shouldn't that be important? Is it done on purpose? Well, the reality is that they've done some pretty fucked up things, and it makes sense on why they wouldn't want you to learn about them. But before I tell you about the operations they kept secret, let me tell you about the operations they brag about on their official webpage, and some pretty funny ones. U-2 spy plane. In 1954, a U-2 spy plane successfully photographed and confirmed the presence of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba. This led to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Project Azorian. In 1974, the CIA built a ship called the Glomar Explorer to secretly snatch a wrecked Soviet Union submarine from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Created a cover story that fooled everyone into thinking billionaire Howard Hughes was conducting marine research at extreme ocean depths. My bad if I mispronounce anything, but Project Argo, November 4th, 1979, militant Islamic students took over a U.S. embassy in Iran and took hostage 66 U.S. personnel. However, 6 U.S. State Deployment employees avoided capture that day by taking refuge in the homes of Canadian embassy officers. The CIA then conducted a scheme to exfiltrate the quote-unquote Canadian Six from the country by pretending to be a film productions team scouting for a suitable filming location in Iran. To help facilitate the rescue, the CIA team set up Studio 6 Productions, entitled its new production, Argo. 2 months later, on January 28, 1980, CIA successfully exfiltrated the 6 diplomats from Iran. There's even a movie about it with Ben Affleck. 2011 Abbottabad Mission. On May 1st, 2011, a U.S. military raid on al-Qaeda compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, killed Osama bin Laden, America's most wanted terrorist. The mission's success comes with many years of advanced intelligence operation and analysis led by the CIA. Time for some fun facts. Operation Acoustic Kitty. The CIA spent $20 million. Yes, $20 million, 2-0, on building a chip that can be placed in a cat's ear that can record secret conversations. Their operation eventually failed because it got hit by a taxi while crossing the road. The CIA keeps their agents' names a secret even when they die. The Red Hot Chili Peppers and Slim Shady were known to have their music played as torture. At one point, CIA agents had to learn a little bit of magic. They worked with magicians all across America to develop some tricks that included sleight of hand, learning how to blend in, and methods to passing secret messages. The year is 1962. The United States and Soviet Union are embroiled in a global struggle for power known as the Cold War. Cuba has recently fallen into communism, and Fidel Castro has become a nuisance to the United States. America cannot fathom the fact that a communist ally of the Soviet Union was so close to home. If shit really hit the fan, the Soviets had somewhere to station their military forces and somewhere to launch their nuclear weapons, making it much easier to attack the USA. Knowing this, America knew they had to eliminate Fidel Castro by any means necessary, even if it meant killing American people. That's exactly what Operation Northwoods is all about. After the CIA's failed attempts of killing Castro through Operation Mongoose and the disastrous Bay of Pigs invasion, it was time for a new strategy. As much as military forces wanted to just go bomb Cuba, they knew America needed an excuse to do so, something every American could get behind and support. Operation Northwoods was a series of hostile operations against its own military and civilians. Yes, you heard that correctly. As well as those neighboring nations, while making it seem like the attacks were from Cuba themselves. This way, America can finally go commando on Cuba and Fidel Castro. Those operations included starting rumors, start riots near the base main gate, blow up ammunition, start fires, sabotage aircrafts, capture assault teams approaching Guantanamo Bay, and many more. They even started plans on how America would react, even inciting a Remember the Maine incident in various ways. Even terror attacks were in the conversations, all this to ultimately have a reason to kill Castro. Thankfully, President John F. Kennedy said, "Nah, y'all tripping," but the fact is that this operation was even a thought makes me wonder the extremes America would take to get what they want. After the Second World War, the amount of information Nazi scientists knew was unprecedented. Nazis had infamously conducted human experiments on Jews, experimenting with chemicals, and even forced slave labor on them. Once Nazi Germany fell, the greedy Soviet Union and USA understood that they knew things they couldn't even fathom. The ideology was this: why kill or let these scientists rot in jail when we could use them to get ahead of the opposition? It was decided then and there that the USA needed all the information, so they conducted Operation Paperclip, which secretly transported over 1,000 Nazi scientists to America, the most prestigious of them being Wernher von Braun. There's even a book about it called Operation Paperclip. But anyways, you see, not only were the Germans ahead on chemical warfare, they were also years ahead in the rocket game, specifically the V-2 rockets, which is the first man-made rocket to reach outer space. The man who watched over the V-2 program was that scientist that I just said with a complicated name 15 seconds ago. Anyways, having him meant that the USA can get ahead in the space race without losing years in failed experiments and billions of dollars, which they later did in 1969 through the creation of the Saturn V rocket, which took Apollo 11 to the moon, declaring victory in the space race. By this time, he was one of the most important figures in NASA and even worked with Walt Disney to produce 3 educational films about space. Now think about it. He was a Nazi scientist that done some pretty fucked up shit, yet he has this prestigious role in NASA. But again, would you rather have Nazi scientists prison for life, or would you rather have them fight for you against the new enemy? I'll leave that up to you.
Are a broadcast. You've been brainwashed.
The CIA would experiment on people using LSD with the goal to have mind control. Yes, you heard me correctly. LSD, mind control. They were trying to turn you into a zombie. Operation Midnight Climax is a prime example of just that. The CIA would build safe houses and then use prostitutes to lure men into sex. When in there, the women would eventually spike the men with LSD. The CIA scientists would study the men, usually behind a two-way mirror. Now, fellas, say you better do your thing, and then you get laced with some LSD and start seeing stuff. What are you gonna do, bruh? The CIA weird for that on my mama. And if that's not enough, they would even do it on medical patients. Allen Memorial Hospital in Montreal, Canada conducted experiments under infamous Scottish-American psychiatrist Dr. Edwin Cameron. Unsuspected patients who had common illnesses were experimented on using drug cocktails or even extreme techniques. And if you don't believe me, hear from those who suffered.
Hospital, they immediately put him on insulin to put him into like an insulin coma. They took clips from the interview with the shrink and put it on tape to run a loop under his pillow while he was put into this sleep treatment.
He also was put in an insulin coma for 36 days with a recording beside him saying that your mother hates you over and over and over and over and over.
That was beside my bed constantly, repeated between 250,000 and 500,000 times.
Focus, Mason. We're out of fucking time. The world is on the fucking brink of war.
Whose war?
Alright, now let's sit back and think. Why didn't school want to teach us about the CIA? Is it not important? I think it's important. But the reason why they didn't want to teach us is because they done some pretty grimy stuff. Some pretty hypocritical stuff. Now, the CIA and American government were able to do so much grimy things without anyone knowing. From creating fake stories, to lacing American citizens, to bringing criminals to fight for us. What makes you think there isn't something going on right now? As much as I want to badmouth the CIA and expose how corrupt they are by hiding the truth, the reality is that all of this was online. From YouTube videos to official documents. And that goes with everything in life, not just the CIA. The problem is that we are so distracted, more distracted than ever. So distracted that we can't even acknowledge the good that we have in life. Too distracted to question why and how things work because we're so busy scrolling social media. So busy posting how we're having fun. Too distracted to realize that they are keeping us divided. What do I mean by that? Nowadays, you see arguments all the time. This race versus this race. This gender this sex that. Left versus right. You are distracted. Because remember, the more distracted you are, the less you know. And the less you know, the less powerful you become. I'll give you an example. Florida just passed Stop Woke Act. And that prohibits any teaching that could make students feel they bear personal responsibility for historic wrongs because of race, color, sex, or national origin. Now, one person may look at this and say, oh, well, that's fair. Kids shouldn't feel guilty for the malicious crime their ancestors committed. Another person might see it as white America being white America. But I see it as a way to dumb us down. Because do you think that child is going to go home on their phone and start searching up history when they got hundreds of apps, a smart TV on their wall, and a virtual reality game in their room? They're not. We can't even focus on a TikTok video if it doesn't catch our eyes in the first 5 seconds. It's been going on forever. When the Roman Empire was falling, the government distracted the people with countless circuses to keep them entertained, kept the poor happy by giving them free food and lowered the price of food, all to keep their people distracted while they fought a losing war. If you don't believe me, go search up bread and circuses. Or don't, I don't really care. It's easier to fool people than it is to convince that they have been fooled. Put down the distractions. Question everything. Control your mind. It's the only thing you can control in this life. If you can't control your mind, you are just a feather in the wind of life. I appreciate you for watching. Shout out Joker for giving me this idea. And shout out Leslie for giving this dope ass project. Real talk.